and thank you for being here today. My name is Marilyn Calderon, National Vice President for the United Farm Workers. Cesar Chavez once asked, "What is the worth of a man or a woman? What is a life of a farm worker worth?" Apparently, Maria Isabel Vasquez Jimenez's life is not worth very much in the courtroom of Judge Michael Garrigan. Why is that so? Because Maria Isabel was a farm worker? Because Maria Isabel was only 17 years old when she needlessly died? Because Maria Isabel was an immigrant from Mexico? Cesar Chavez answered his own questions in a eulogy for 19 farm workers who died in another senseless bus accident in 1974. Such acts happen, Cesar said, because employers and labor contractors treat us as if we were not important human beings. But brothers and sisters, we are important human beings. Farm workers are important because they are from us. We cherish them, we love them, we will miss them. They are important because of the love they gave to their husbands, their children, their wives, their parents, all those who were close to them and who needed them. They are important because of the work they do. They are not implements to be used and discarded. They are human beings who sweat and sacrifice to bring food to the tables of millions and millions of people throughout the world. They are important because God made them, gave them life, and cares for them in life and death." End quote. And they are the reason that we are here today. The laws on the books are not the laws in the fields. As many farm workers have died due to heat illness since Governor Schwarzenegger enacted emergency heat illness regulations, as did in the years after those regulations were enacted. The tragic killing of 17-year-old Maria Isabel Vasquez Jimenez in 2008 is one of many terrible examples of how farm workers experience the law in California. Maria's death is so hard to accept because it didn't need to happen. The labor contractors did not observe the most basic heat laws. This was not a one-time occurrence. In 2006, Merced Farm Labor was fined for failure to have a written heat stress prevention plan and training for their workers. They never paid the fine. Cal OSHA never bothered to inspect the farm again. Some of the company officials responsible for the death of pregnant 17-year-old Maria Isabel Vasquez Jimenez have reportedly reached a plea bargain with San Joaquin District Attorney James Willett. If the deal is approved by Judge Garrigan at a hearing scheduled for March 9th, neither will spend a single day in jail. The Sacramento Bee quotes Deputy District Attorney Lester Fleming explaining the plea deal in the following way. While they, the farm labor contractors, were intellectually aware of the dangers, I don't think anyone was taking the heat regulations very seriously because they were only implemented in 2005. The human beings who torture their bodies, sacrifice their youth, and numb their spirits to produce California's great agricultural wealth, a wealth so vast that it feeds all of America and much of the world, deserve better than that. The UFW is launching a campaign with the Jimenez family urging Judge Michael Garrigan to dismiss a plea bargain for 2 of 3 defendants in her case and convict them to the fullest extent of the law. We already have over 10,000 emails and hundreds of calls from supporters into the district attorney's office, and today the family and the United Farm Workers are meeting with the district attorney at 1:30. Also on Monday, March 7th, in this very area, beginning at 7 a.m., we will hold a community vigil to pray that the judge will hear this message and act on it. Now, I am joined here by courageous leaders from the Jimenez family that I like to introduce. The first is Doroteo Jimenez, the uncle of Maria Isabel. You know, 15 farm workers have experienced what Doroteo's family has in the last few years. But Doroteo's courage and determination stand out. He led with the UFW a 4-day pilgrimage to Sacramento. He lost his job when he was talking to previous governors to the previous governor's office, lost hours of work to sacrifice, knowing that his niece will not come back. And before Doroteo says a few words, I also want to recognize that we have community members here from the North Valley Labor Federation that we want to thank, Teamsters, El Concilio. We have members of the faith community that will be asking to say a few words, and the Jimenez family. Jose Luis, her brother, who's standing right next to me, her aunt Candida, and her aunt Florentina. And and of course Juanita from the UFW Action Committee in Sacramento. Now I'll ask Doroteo to say a few words, and I can translate if that's helpful as well.
Sí, buenos días. Mi nombre es Doroteo Jiménez. A nombre de toda mi familia y pues todas las personas que nos están apoyando, ¿verdad? Pues estamos agradecidos por lo que hemos logrado, ¿verdad? Pero a la vez con la corte que tenemos aquí, pues la sentencia que le van a dar no estamos pues nada de acuerdo. Es por eso que estamos pidiendo justicia, ¿verdad?
On behalf of the family, we want to thank everyone for their support. However, we are not satisfied with the current sentencing that's being proposed.
Para ver si podemos convencer al juez y que le dé pues una sentencia, por lo menos que sea cárcel, para que vean los demás personas que tratan mal a los trabajadores, que hay justicia para nosotros los campesinos.
We want at the very minimum jail time for those that are responsible, so that that will send a message to farm workers.
Que vamos a hacer vigilia, ¿verdad? Para el día 7 y 8 y también pues hoy vamos a anunciar, ¿verdad? Que vamos a tener un vigilia para María Isabel Vázquez Jiménez, que va a ser el 7 y 8 de marzo, antes de la sentencia, y queremos pedir pues todas las personas que nos apoyen, porque es parte muy importante para nosotros. Lo que logremos este día es lo que se va a lograr para todas las personas que trabajan en Vigil.
On Monday, March 7th and 8th, we'll be holding a vigil for Maria Isavel, because if we're able to win here, it would be justice for all of the farm workers.
Y una vez más quiero recordar, ¿verdad?, de que siempre hemos hablado de María Isabel Vázquez Jiménez, pero siempre hemos resaltado su bebé, que también es una persona, una vida que se perdió, y ella no es culpable de que haya perdido la vida por culpa de las personas que no tienen la responsabilidad de cuidar a las personas, que les faltó agua y el calor, pues eso fue el que lo agobió, y ella y el bebé o la bebé que haya sido, pues no tiene nada de culpa, y entonces por eso también reclamamos la vida de ella.
Now, we frequently talk about Maria Isabel, but no one mentions her child she was carrying, and it was not her child's fault that those who are responsible did not provide water or shade from the sun, and it was actually the heat stress that caused that miscarriage.
Pues siempre estamos pendientes, ¿verdad?, lo que está pasando, pero siempre ocupamos la ayuda de todas las personas que nos estén mirando, el apoyo para ese día 7 y 8 de marzo. Y si están también el día 9, pues qué bueno, queremos que nos apoyen, porque es el día que se va a decidir, pues para ver qué es lo que va a pasar y esperemos que, pues, que nos apoyen.
The family does need the support from the community on March 7th and 8th, and also on March 9th, the day of the hearing. I'd like to ask either Father Dean or Pastor Ruth if one of you could say a few words.
I'm here personally because I'm grateful for the contribution to our country of our farm workers and their hard work, their sweat in the fields. I've been involved on and off since 1970 with United Farm Workers, as Pastor Bill also has 35 years in which he has from California, I from Seattle. And as pastors and representatives of the church, our primary interest is not in this particular case or its sentencing, but in the overall application in a just manner, consistent manner of the laws that do protect our farm workers. We're concerned that it's been easy to overlook them because they may not have documents or they may not be in one stable location month to month. And for this reason, the church has always spoken out, not just the Catholic Church, every Christian church and many other kinds of religious organizations speak out in favor of the dignity and the human rights of all those who work, especially those who are providing for our food, those who provide for our community, often with harsh conditions and low wages and without contracts. So in this case, again, we're not so much concerned, I think Pastor Bill and myself, or Jose Lopez, who works with the Diocese of Stockton, not so much concerned for the sentencing in this case, but in the overall picture for our migrant workers. Pastor Bill, would you like to say a few words?
It's an honor to be here among the family, and also my main purpose is to, as a pastor, to be with the family who are grieving the loss of their daughter, of their niece, and also to once again and thanks Father Dan for your comments, but also to say that Maria Isabel Vasquez Jimenez was working for us. She puts the food on our tables, and needs to be treated with dignity and with respect, and also she was only 17 years old, and I think more care needs to be taken by contractors, by employers, to make sure that everyone's safe in their where they work. And so as long as farm workers die, as long as there's injustice in the field, we're going to be marching and we're going to be continuing this struggle where everyone is free.
Jose Luis is Maria's brother, and he wanted to say a few words.
Buenos días, mi nombre es José Luis Vázquez. Estamos aquí porque la familia no está de acuerdo con las horas comunitarias que le van a dar al contratista Elías Armenta. Queremos llegar a algo más porque no es justo de que la muerte de mi hermana sea nada más así. Queremos que Elías Armenta pague con cárcel.
I'm here on behalf of the family, and we do not agree with the current sentencing of community service hours for the death of my sister, and we believe that there should be jail time for Safety Supervisor Elias Armenta.
Mi mamá no está de acuerdo con todo esto y también quiere que Elías pague con cárcel porque fue muy doloroso para ella porque es su sangre y era la hija más grande para ella y era una ayuda para ella también.
My mother is also not doesn't agree with the current sentencing. You know, Maria was her eldest daughter. That's her blood, and his mother also feels that there should be jail time. Okay, great. I think that concludes our speakers we had here. If there's anyone that'd like to say something, you're more than welcome to. do it, and we'll also take questions from the media if there are some at this time.